Lorena Kane is an award-winning social worker. She dedicates her life to helping others. But this mother of two was a victim of appalling sectarian abuse in the workplace for 4 years.
It goes against the very grain of what social workers are about. We're there to help very vulnerable people in our society, and we have to respect everyone, regardless of their religion, of creed or colour.
It all began here in Knockbracken Healthcare Park back in 2004. Lorena was delighted to get a job working with children in the early years team. She didn't think for a second her religion would be a problem, but it was for one colleague, a fellow professional, just like herself, a social worker.
When I started working in the team, a lot of the team were very friendly. I was looking forward to working in the team, and one of the first comments that I had witnessed, I hadn't been party to the conversation, but it was a comment, I hate Catholics. It was by one individual who was the main protagonist in all of this.
And when you heard that for the first time, how are you feeling?
I was shocked by what I was hearing. I felt disrespected as a human being, as a colleague. It really was, there was disbelief. I couldn't believe what I was hearing in a team, and in particular in the profession that I'm in.
The remarks gradually got nastier, all said in an open plan office and revealed for the first time in the High Court last week. They included, "Since these Catholics moved in, there's an awful smell coming over the hedge." In response to the news that a co-worker had a baby boy, she allegedly said, "I bet you call him some tiggy name like Freedom."
I did, I had great support from my family and friends. I felt I could not take it to my line manager, because my line manager was present when sectarian comments were being made, and took no action to curtail them or to stop them from happening.
Lorena put up with this for as long as she could, but she reached breaking point in February 2008 after yet another comment.
I felt I could no longer take this humiliation within my team.
What was that comment?
It was a comment in relation to Catholic social workers being able to drive. There's two separate teams, and it was about Catholic social workers being able to drive to a training venue, and the comment really was around, are they not able to drive because they're Catholics, or words to that effect. But this was something that I suppose was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Lorena was finally brave enough to lodge a complaint. She wasn't alone. Two fellow social workers who witnessed everything that had gone on backed her up. But by this stage, the whole affair had taken its toll on Lorena. She was suffering from depression and her hair started to fall out. The cost, almost a year off work.
I had become very ill. With my physical health had started to become affected, and that included hair loss, alopecia, and that was frightening for me because I didn't know at what point that would stop. And as a woman, losing your hair, it's not nice for anybody to lose their hair, but particularly for a woman.
While Lorena was recovering at home, the Trust launched an investigation. During that time, the woman at the centre of this hate campaign left her job. In March 2009, the Belfast Trust found Lorena was the victim of unwarranted, offensive and sectarian comments, and that her line manager knew about it but did nothing. Despite this, it took almost 3 years for the Trust to admit liability.
It's been a very long fight, and the legal process in itself is a very difficult process.
We asked the Trust for an interview, but that was declined. In a statement, it said all allegations of sectarianism are taken very seriously. In this instance, we initiated a high-level investigation and took appropriate disciplinary and other action against individuals who behaved in a totally unacceptable way. The issue of liability was part of the legal process. Despite her dreadful experience, Lorena returned to the job she loves. Still with the Trust, she's now working with children at a cancer charity.
I've won the fight, and I know that I did the right thing. I have no regrets. I'm very determined. I know that possibly this is potentially happening to other people. And I think it takes someone to stand up against it, that sectarianism is wrong in whatever form it takes.
Lorena has this to say to the woman who made her life a misery.
I think she needs to reflect on her attitude. I think she needs to reflect on what has happened. I'm glad it's out in the open. I do forgive the individual involved. I want to put it behind me now and to move on.
In all, Lorena's ordeal, that campaign of sectarian hatred and fight for justice, lasted 8 years. She's now looking forward. But this case highlights how far Northern Ireland has yet to go to eradicate sectarianism. Sharon O'Neill, UTV Live Tonight.